asked you at the beginning, could you name like your top therapist? Like the only one that really stood out was Robin Williams' character, Sean Maguire in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
And I feel like for many people, maybe of a older generation than us, I don't know what the alphas and Gen Zs are doing, but for most of us, I feel like this is the template of film therapist that most of us have for lots of different reasons. Like I'm even looking at, this was made in 1997. This was kind of right at the cusp of that golden age of cinema when it was getting towards 1999, like the best year in film and all that stuff. You have phenomenal actors in Robin Williams and Matt Damon. So, and then especially this entire movie in many ways is about the relationship between Robin Williams and Matt Damon, between the client and the therapist, without being super on the nose about it. There's lots of other pieces that are driving the narrative, but this is kind of a little bit pulled into the background thing that really holds it all together. So I was rewatching it, and I thought there were a couple things that struck me when I rewatched it for the context of our conversation here about presentations of therapists in media. Because there's lots of stuff that the therapist, Sean, does wrong. And yet I think he's one of my favorite presentations of a therapist.
Yeah.
Even though he's maybe not, technically speaking, and I mean technically like the therapeutic tools and stuff they would use may not be the best therapist that's been presented, but there's something about his portrayal of it.
Maybe it's the fact that he's a real human being.
Well, if we get into it, I think that's going to be probably something really important to pay attention to.
Look into my eyes. Get out, Will. I don't need therapy.
That's enough. Get out.
So even just like Will being very similar to Rick actually in this way of like, again, the highly intelligent person who is like, I don't need therapy. I don't need to talk to somebody about this. And is kind of like dragging his therapist along. They take him to like 5 different people. And there's this testing out of therapists that I think normal clients will also do.
Yeah.
That you got to figure out somebody who fits. And especially for a client like Will, where there's going to be a very particular personality going on, like you need to find someone who's going to connect, which is what happens all the time. Like I'll have clients who come to me saying I didn't have a good fit with other therapists. They come and it works well with me. And I have clients that come to see me and then they don't show up again and presumably go to somebody else. And it's like, yeah, you have to find your fit. And it's weird how there's almost like that truth underlying the presentation, where the surface level presentation here is, look at all these people who can't do anything for Will, but underneath it, if we're engaging with this piece of media critically, we can see it's kind of reflected truly in the world of, you might have to try out a couple of people to find the good fit for you.
Totally.
Right.
And on top of that, it also acts as another piece of really good contrast, because a failure to find a good fit in all these other therapists really highlights the perfect fit when he actually does get to Robin Williams.
Absolutely. There's a really interesting way that they choose to present the introduction of Robin Williams' character.
Trust. Very important in a relationship. It's also very important in a clinical situation. Why is trust the most important thing in making a breakthrough with a client?
I didn't catch this when I first watched this. His introduction also acts as a foreshadowing to how he's going to be interacting with Will.
Like, it's cool how, again, when we look back with the ability to analyze this, it is technically on the nose.
Oh, yeah, but it never felt that way.
When you watch it through as an audience member, not a critic or an analyst, you would never see it. But he says, trust is the most important thing in making a breakthrough. And then what happens for the rest of the movie? What is the entire goal for Sean in terms of interacting with Will? Can I build trust with this kid who doesn't trust anybody except for the closest people around him? But trusting these people means he can't expand his boundaries and, fulfill his potential. And so can I be this new figure who can create some trust with him to help him grow past his current limitations? It's beautifully put, and it's so simple and straightforward here. And I love how it's also camped in, like, again, terrible joke to make about sleeping with your clients as a therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if they don't trust you, you're never going to get them to sleep with you. That should be the goal of any good therapist. Nail them while they're vulnerable. That's my motto.
But there's a piece of it that kind of highlights, for me at least, why Sean is going to be able to connect with Will. Like we go through the rest of where they first meet. Oh, you're both from Southie. You're both from the same neighborhood. You see how they interact together, and it's like very casual. It's all about rapport building, not fixing. And so Sean as a therapist is not like, I'm going to fix Will. It's I'm going to build, and even not get him to trust me. I'm going to build trust with him. And he says it explicitly here. Trust is the key to unlocking breakthroughs in your clients. Trust is the thing that really going forward helps Will to make changes.